Yo, what's good YouTube? In today's video, I'm gonna give you guys my top 5 fastest TTK guns you need to be using. With that being said, let's hop straight into the setups. Our first gun here today is gonna be the AK-74. This is an incredibly hard-hitting gun, and as long as you can hit your shots, this has one of the fastest TTKs in the entire game. And our first attachment on here is gonna be the Kepler Red Dot. One of my preferred sights on this thing. I'm not a big proponent of using something like a 3x. You can go for that Jason Armory 2X, which is going to be pretty solid. But overall, the Kepler Red Dot and the Jason Armory probably are going to be my two top choices for the AK-74. Next up in the muzzle section, we're going to go throw on the compensator. And the reason we got this on here is just because anyone that's used the AK-74 knows that this gun has some decent kick to it, so we're trying to make sure we get as much of that under control. And the compensator, the regular compensator, not the muzzle brake or the ported, is going to do the absolute most for us. This helps the most with your extended overtime vertical recoil control, not the muzzle brake or the ported. These do help out a little bit, but not nearly as much as the compensator. Next up in the barrel section, we're gonna go throw on the reinforced barrel. This is gonna give us our increase in damage range and bullet velocity. A pretty standard barrel attachment for our assault rifles. There's no real reason to go for something like the long barrel and only get your damage range, or to go for the gain twist barrel and only get your bullet velocity. You need to have both of those, just because the base AK by itself doesn't have a crazy ridiculous damage range. So when you have the reinforced barrel on there, it extends it out, gets you out that great damage range, so it does everything you need it to. Now in the underbarrel section, we're gonna go through on that vertical foregrip. This is gonna help us out, that horizontal recoil control, the absolute max that it can. Unfortunately, we don't have that buffer weight stock like we do for the XM4, as that's what we'd be running instead of this. But overall, this is going to be the best possible attachment to run in the underbarrel section for this gun. And then lastly, in the magazine section, we're going to go throw on the extended mag 2. This is going to be a great option because it gives you 50 rounds in the mag, or I'd say extended mag 3 is pretty solid as well. Just keep in mind, you do, I think, reload, from my personal experience, reload a decent bit faster using extended mag 2. So I'd say to go for that. I found it to be great and just highly successful when I'm running it. But overall, extended mag 3, if you want to go for the 60 rounds in the mag. I know I'm normally a 60 round mag kind of guy, but you can go for the 60 or you can go for the 50. It's totally up to you. With that being said, that's my full build on the AK-74. Next up in our list, we're going to go for the PP919. This is an incredible SMG that I think you guys should be using. So first thing in here is going to be that long barrel. This is going to increase our overall damage range the absolute most it possibly can. I'd say this is definitely necessary when you're using this gun. All the SMGs in this game really do require a long barrel. There's not really an exception to that for at least the Black Ops 6 SMGs. So I'd say the long barrel overall for this gun is going to be your best bet. After that, in the magazine section, we're going to go throw on Fast Mag 1. And the reason we have Fast Mag 1 on here is just because it still gives us 50 rounds in the mag. However, if you want to, you can go for Fast Mag 2, and this is going to give you 40 rounds in the mag, but you will get some more pros of your ADS speed, reload quickness, and sprint to fire speed that you won't get as much of with Fast Mag 1. I do, though, like the 50 rounds as opposed to 40. I felt like there's too many situations where I was running out of ammo on this gun in particular using the 40, so I've just been sticking with this and it's worked out great. Now in the rear grip section, we're gonna go throw on the Commando grip, and the reason we got this on here is just increase your overall ADS speed and sprint to fire speed. You could also, if you feel like maybe this exact build is lacking a little bit in slide to fire and dive to fire, go throw on the ergonomic grip instead. That's going to be perfectly acceptable. But overall, the Commando or the ergonomic, you really can't go too wrong with either or. It's just a little bit personal preference for what you want in your rear grip section. Now in the stock section, we're going to go throw on the Infiltrator stock, and this is going to give us a maximum increase to overall aim walking movement speed. I find this to be hugely beneficial. My other go-to attachment would be the balance stock. But overall, you don't get as much aim walking movement speed, which is something that I really enjoy being able to have. I love movement. I love having that strafe ability. It helps you get more aim assist, be a harder target. It's got a myriad of benefits, and I'd say that overall, your Infiltrator stock is going to be the move. Lastly, we're going to go throw on a laser here, but this is a pretty optional attachment, and you could switch this out for a muzzle. And if you're going to switch this out for a muzzle, I'd say go throw on a suppressor if you want to stay off the radar. Maybe throw in an optic if you really feel like the iron sights aren't for you. But overall, I'd say you don't need anything else. You don't want to throw in rapid fire. That's going to decrease your damage or damage range. We don't really need to have that. So I'd say the steady aim laser is a really solid option to have on this gun. So either go for this, go for a suppressor, or go for an optic of your choice like a micro reflex, and you'll be good to go. But don't go for a rapid fire or a compensator is not necessary either. especially with that visual recoil change. This gun does not move, so there's no reason to have a compensator on there. So this is my full build, and I hope you guys enjoy that. Next up, I'm going to give you guys a build here for the Jackal PDW. This is an incredible SMG that I really enjoy using, and it's basically the #1 SMG in the game. So first attachment on here is going to be that long barrel. This is absolutely incredible. Does exactly what you need it to do. So I'd recommend for you guys to run the long barrel exclusively on this gun. You don't need that gain twist or the reinforced barrel. This is going to do exactly what you need it to. It's going to extend out your damage range the absolute most it possibly can with a barrel. Now in the underbarrel section, we're going to go throw on the Ranger foregrip, and we got this on here just for that horizontal recoil control and our sprinting movement speed. We want to be able to make sure that we're like moving around super quickly, and also so that we can deal with any of that side-to-side recoil that we get, which is very minimal. This gun's gonna be a laser, much like the PP919, so it's kind of why it's one of the best SMGs to use. For the magazine, we're gonna go throw on one of two options, which is gonna be extended mag 1 for that 40 rounds to mag, or extended mag 2, which gives you 50. This is kind of a little bit up in the air. I recently moved over to this exact build I'm showing you guys right now. I felt just like unbelievably quick. Something about that extended mag 2 slows you down a little bit, sometimes a little bit too much, depending on like how you feel about the gun. So I went down to extended mag 1, and I felt with my exact attachment setup, just by switching the mag, I felt like I was so much more quick, and I just wanted a little bit more gunfights up close. So I like that, and I just want to share that with you guys. So extended mag 1 or 2, up to you. For the rear grip, we have on the ergonomic grip for slide to fire, dive to fire, and ADS. This definitely is the move on this SMG. I think this is the perfect rear grip thing to have. I don't really like running this gun without the ergonomic grip to keep it a stack. I've tried running like the Commando, the Assault, like I've tried running the Quick Draw as well, like pretty much all of these in here, and I just felt like the ergonomic was the best way to go for it. So I should say stick with ergonomic. Last but definitely not least, for the stock section, we're gonna go through all that Infiltrator stock, which is gonna give us that aim blocking movement speed. This is going to do the absolute most for you in terms of making you feel real agile and mobile when you're ADSing. I absolutely love that. That's kind of why we're running this on, you know, the PP919. We're running on the Jackal PDW. This just is going to be the best for you. The other thing here is that the balance stock is pretty solid. It gives you the 2 green arrows for everything it does, unlike the PP919. So I'd say you could definitely try out the balance. This is a lot more of an equal sort of trade-off between the Infiltrator and the balance. PP919 doesn't really have that, but this gun does. So try it out and see what works best for you. But this is my full build for the Jackal. Now hopping in here to our XM4 build. This is going to be a really solid one. I really enjoy using. And our first attachment is that Kepler red dot. I really enjoy using this one, or going down here a little bit and using the Jason Armory 2X, or even the Willis 3x. Pretty much all these optics are going to be perfectly acceptable to use and really good options. Next up in the muzzle section, we're going to go throw on the compensator. We're going to have this on here just because it does the absolute most for vertical recoil control here on the XM4. We don't really need the muzzle brake or the porta compensator or anything else like that. We don't care as much about that first shot recoil. We care pretty much about the long recoil, or basically our recoil over in a long period of time, or elongated period of time. Kind of stumbling over the words right now, but you guys get what I'm saying. We care about that extended duration recoil where we have to be able to control it because we're firing, you know, sometimes our full magazine into somebody. So we want to make sure we have that taken care of. The compensator does that. Now in the barrel section, we're going to go throw on the reinforced barrel. What this does is increases our overall damage range and bullet velocity. We pretty much run this on all of our ARs. There's no real reason not to do it. Like I've said probably in some of my other breakdowns, is you want to make sure you increase both your damage range and your bullet velocity. You can't do one or the other. It doesn't really work out like that. Not in Warzone. Maybe in multiplayer you can get away with one or the other, or even no barrel in certain cases, but for Warzone you definitely need to increase both, and you need this barrel. Now in the magazine section, we're going to go throw on extended mag 2. This is a really great option, though I would say overall you can run extended mag 3, not fast mag 2, my bad. Extended mag 3, you can go run that and get 100 rounds in the magazine. I've actually ran this plenty on Rebirth and it works out great. You can also run extended mag 2 if you want to be a little bit more agile and mobile, which is something I've done more recently, and I think I like running that a little bit more than that extended mag 3. So pretty much is up to you and what you want to use right there. And for a last attachment here on the XM4, we're going to go throw on the buffer weight stock, and what this does is it does the absolute most any attachment can possibly do for our vertical and horizontal recoil control. This makes it so that your gun will truthfully be a laser beam, and so you really don't have to compensate for hardly any recoil that's going to be happening, especially not after that recoil or that visual recoil patch. This gun is going to feel truly like a laser, so you guys definitely want to use this this is my full setup. For our final gun here today, we have the C9, aka the MP5. This is a really good SMG after some updates. I don't see it getting used a lot, but on ground loot, you guys know it's a banger SMG to pick up. So first thing in here is going to be that long barrel. We got this on here just to help us out their overall damage range. You guys know the drill and how this works, so I don't have to explain this too much to you. For the underbarrel, much like we have for the Jackal, we are using the Ranger foregrip, horizontal recoil control, and sprinting movement speed. This is another one of those guns that greatly benefited from the overall visual recoil decrease or removal. I don't really know why they try adding that in every single COD. It doesn't really make sense, and they always end up removing it because it just doesn't work. You think they learn from studio to studio, but they really clearly don't. So we have the Ranger foregrip on here. It's going to stabilize it out perfectly. Now for the magazine section, we're going to go throw on extended mag 2, and we have this on here just to give us that 50 rounds in the mag. I'd say this is another case like the Jackal where you can definitely get away with extended mag 1 if you want to be a bit more agile, but I felt like overall, generally speaking, extended mag 2 is something I'm very used to in running this gun, just because it's essentially in all the ground loot guns you're going to pick up. I mean, it's on, I think, 2 out of like 3 or 3 out of 4 of the ground loot variants. So I'd say I like this one a little bit more, and I've just been sticking with it. And overall, it's done me justice. I like having 50 rounds on my C9. It just works out great, and the reload's not too slow. For the rear grip, I'm once again going for that ergonomic grip, slide to fire, dive to fire, ADS. You guys kind of know how this thing works. You guys are going to have to go ahead and run this, and you're going to feel like you're really zipping, sliding around the map. It is awesome to have the ergonomic on here. For our final attachment, we're going to go for a stock, and that's going to be the Infiltrator stock for, once again, that aim blocking movement speed. This is something you could, technically speaking, get away with not using. If you want to take the stock off and go throw on a suppressor, you can definitely do that. A compensator is not necessary at all, given the overall recoil is virtually non-existent, so I'd say you don't have to do that. But the Infiltrator is pretty much what you should be rocking on this thing. And overall, if you run my exact build, you're going to have a great time using the C9 in Warzone. That being said, that's my full build. That's my top 5. You guys enjoyed the video, give it a like for the algorithm, subscribe with notifications turned on, check out this other video on screen, and I'll see you all next time.